In 1975, Alice Lamb, who is working on her typewriter, lives in a cottage by the seaside in Kent. She had lived in the village since before the start of World War II. During that time, she tolerated the harassment by local children who thought she was a witch because she was a loner. As part of the war effort, the brusque and reclusive writer is entrusted with the care of a young boy, Frank, who has been evacuated from London where it is unsafe. Alice has not volunteered to be a host and does not want to care for him, as she fears it will interfere with her work researching mythology and folklore. Still, she reluctantly agrees to let him stay, believing he has nowhere else to go and she will be able to be rid of him in a week. As she begins to accept Frank's presence, she recalls her relationship with Vera, a fellow student at university who wanted to be a novelist and with whom she fell in love. Vera breaks Alice's heart when she decides to end their relationship, not because it was considered taboo, but because she has a strong desire to be a mother. It would not be possible with Alice. Alice and Frank start to bond after he takes an interest in her scholarly work, and she explains Fata Morgana's mirages to him. She tells him about the Summerland, the pagan idea of the afterlife around them. However, at the end of their week together, she is still willing to let him be transferred to another home. Alice changes her mind and decides to keep Frank with her, after learning that moving him to a new family will require moving to another village and school. The day before Frank's birthday, Alice is informed that his father has been killed in battle and she must break the news to him. As she was devastated by the similar loss of her father, Alice decided to delay telling Frank. While preparing a permanent room for him to stay in, she finds photographs of Frank and his parents in his scrapbook. She is shocked to discover that his mother is Vera. At the same time, during an argument with a school friend, Frank discovers that his father has died. Frank runs away to be with his mother in London, hurt and angry because Alice had not told him. Alice goes after him, and the two arrive in time to find his home destroyed and in flames after a bombing. Alice and Frank spend the night in an air raid shelter and head back to Kent the following morning. While driving back to Kent, Frank yells at Alice to stop, jumps out, and runs to the sea. Alice follows him onto the rocks, pleading that it isn't safe. Frank shouts at her that she knew about his father's death and didn't tell him. Distraught, Alice tells him she wanted to but didn't know how to and apologizes. Frank says that he saw his father in Summerland. When he turns around, he slips and falls backward into the water. He flails under the water until Alice swims out to where he is, and manages to rescue him. After helping him get out, both gasp and cough up water profusely. The following day, Alice brings Frank breakfast, which he initially refuses. Alice reveals how she lost her father years earlier and struggled to come to terms with it. She then shows him the room she prepared for him, comforting him when he becomes upset and looking through some family photos. When they return home a few days later, they find Vera waiting for them, and she had not been home at the time of the bomb attacks. Vera confesses to having engineered the selection of Alice as the host for Frank, because she knows that if anything were to happen to her, Alice would take care of him. At the present time, Alice is finalizing her manuscript and is interrupted by Vera. The two reunited and have since been living together. Alice and Vera are walking on the beach and are joined by an adult Frank who has come to visit his mother's. Frank reads the dedication in Alice's manuscript, which is dedicated to him.